You agreed to play a board game?
Yeah, in the afternoon. Then I'll take her out for a couple drinks, bring her back here, and bang her.
Classy.
She's bringing friends. And I said you'd be willing to play too. I know you like weird board games.
Okay, sure. But how'd you know I wouldn't have other plans?
I've met you. I'm gonna go do my hair.
Hey, I'm looking for Johnny from Lovecraft.
Johnny, your date's here! No judgment!
He wishes.
I brought the board game. It's a little complicated to set up. Could I use your bathroom?
Oh, nice poster.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
Oh, he's an athlete?
Good evening and welcome to Chatbox with Sam. Tonight's guest is actor, producer and writer Michael Beardsley. Hello Michael, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for joining me today. Michael, if anyone was watching, was on the live stream when they were doing the Easter Seals Disability Challenge with Dawn Grabowski and Tiana and Meredith Thomas. So that was quite interesting. And how did you find that?
It was a great experience. It was one of those projects that you get the concept and have to write it and then produce it and act in it and then edit it all in 4 days. So I think we did well. It was a superhero theme, and we didn't win any awards, but we got a lot of great feedback from people. So I'm glad I did it, and I'll probably do it again next year.
That's so awesome because it's bringing awareness to people with disabilities, and it's amazing that you all did that, as we said in the live stream. And that's how I was introduced to Michael from Dawn Grabowski. So thank you, Dawn Grabowski.
It had to be, everyone worked for free across the crew, the cast, everyone. That was one of the rules, was you could spend zero money on it.
Always a catch. There's always a catch, isn't there? I'm joking. No, it was awesome though. I did watch it and it was very funny. I love the way Dawn went up in a wheelchair and she flattened the tyres of the car because someone parked in a disabled. That was she did it with her mind, obviously. It wasn't really true. It didn't really happen. But yeah, it was great. I think it was fantastic. So Michael, you've been, I know you were born in Santa Cruz and you did some a lot of theatre work. You've worked in a lot of theatre productions. What difference do you find between working in theatre and then working on set?
It's really different. I mean, in theater, you're live on stage. You don't get a take two. So if something goes wrong, you have to just roll with it. And not every night, but there is always stuff that goes wrong. In particular, I did this one show, was Farewell to Manzanar, based on the Japanese internment. And it was a very interesting production because we had Binraku puppets. And one scene, we were actually using Barbie dolls to depict a prom that one of the main characters went to and felt like she was an outsider because she was Japanese American.
Yeah.
And one scene, one of the characters had to march up with his figure, and he objected and said that I should be allowed to go or something like that. And one of the takes, I was there holding the red carpet they were walking down, and he had the doll tucked in the back of his pants.
Yeah.
So he did it out. Only half of the doll came out.
Oh no! Take two.
So from my point of view, behind him, I could see him like fishing around the back of his pants. and he adapted. He grabbed my doll. So that night, my doll got to be the star. And
right.
My doll wasn't as well articulated. I was sitting there. we had got through okay. The red carpet was bouncing a little, but yeah, stuff like that, crazy stuff happens
Yeah.
in shows, and you got to just roll with it. So, and in film, crazy stuff happens, but then they say cut,
Mm-hmm.
and no one ever sees it.
That's right. They can see and edit and do all that good stuff. But yeah, it's raw. I do love the theatre, actually. I go to the Sacramento Bee Theatre here. And I think it's wonderful. The atmosphere is amazing. I love theatre productions. And I worked in a theatre production as a child, Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it was a musical. For a whole week, I met Andrew Lloyd Webber. But so I did have that experience behind me. So I know the work that goes into it, but as a child, you don't really absorb it, as much as you do when you're older. But I do admire the actresses and actors and all the writers and all the production that goes into it. I say maybe with a film, obviously you can reach a larger audience in film, but I think it's more captivating watching theatre.
I miss theater so much because in LA, there's theater in LA, but honestly, no one that's important really cares. Like in New York, theater is a big thing.
Yes.
Chicago, it's a big thing. In LA, it's there. Maybe you can get your friends to go and see it. And it's full. I've done a few things in LA, but not a lot. But it's a huge time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough. It's tough to commit to a huge time commitment when you're also trying to get film work.
Could you tell us a little bit about the production of Speed Writing in 2015?
Yeah, Speed Writing is a film that's actually poking a little bit fun at the industry, because they don't have them as much now because they cracked down. But there used to be this thing where you would basically pay to go and audition for casting directors or agents. So it's a little play on that. We're two out of work writers / actors, which at the time is what we also were.
Yes.
Producer. And we set up this thing so they can come in and pitch their writing ideas, and we'll give them feedback. And it's ridiculous because we mistyped the ad because I can't spell in the film, and maybe in real life a little bit. But so we get people coming in looking for like speed waiting, God, what are some of the other ones? Just anything you can think of which is like one letter off of writing.
Because that was a short, right?
It was a short. It was about a 15-minute short that, I'm one of the leads in it. I also co-produced it.
Yes.
And and that one went to a few film festivals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and film festivals are another thing.
Would you like to share your experience about that?
Sure. Film festivals, there are some that are great. The ones that people have heard of, you got your Sundance, your Cannes.
Yeah.
Correct. And there's several that are totally legit, and there's even like LA Shorts, that's a pretty legit one, that's here in LA. But then there are a lot that just will take stuff, because some of the festivals we were in, I was very proud of our film. And we'd go to the screening and we'd watch some of the other stuff. And a lot of the other stuff was really bad. And it's like, I don't feel that good about getting into this festival.
Right.
Films got in.
Yeah.
And there's the film, a more recent film I did called Bucky. That one went to, because the director producer really got into submitting to festivals all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was at something like 150 film festivals, and it won a lot of awards. But how many of those festivals were really good festivals? There were some.
Right.
Solid movie, but there were a lot that I think just wanted our money.
Oh, yeah, because you have to pay, right?
Oh, yeah. You pay to even just submit to it.
Right.
And I'm sure they do pick the best that they get, but that's the thing, is how many people are submitting to this obscure film festival in India.
Yeah.
So it's, if you go to a festival and you watch it and all the content is good, feel good about a festival because actually a group that I'm affiliated with, We Make Movies, now actually runs a film festival, and actually we pride ourselves in having a level of content that's actually good across the board.
If you were going to inspire the younger generation, what would be your main focus?
Not sure if this is inspiring, but what I would say to them, if they're looking to be actors, and this is probably the opposite of inspiring, but I'm going to say, if you can find yourself doing anything else in life and loving it and being happy and having a great life, do that other thing. But if acting is just acting, or anything really, writing or anything in that industry is what you just have to do, and you would always regret not doing it, then go for it. Absolutely. Because that's the thing is, as all people ask me, it's like, what's the backup plan? There's no backup plan. I intend to do this forever until I die. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I've expanded. I don't just act now. Now I write and I produce and I edit.
Mm-hmm.
But acting is really the core.
It is. That's good. Then you're focused. Yeah. Because in COVID, people that didn't have a backup plan were kind of stuck. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean,
in the industry, it was very difficult. They completely shut down.
For about a year. I mean, I actually had a survival job during that time, which was a mixed blessing because for the bulk of COVID, people who I knew who were actors who didn't have another job were getting unemployment, which was actually more than I was making at my job.
I know, right?
Actually, I caught up and I passed them, so at least I didn't suffer for having to work.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that was a hard pill to swallow for the months that I was working, and they were getting to stay home. Because survival job is not fun.
No, it was a tough time for everybody, wasn't it? For most people. I was lucky. I went to work every day still.
Yeah,
we didn't shut down.
No, that was fun.
There was no unemployment for me. It was no, work's open. I'm like, dang. But I'm glad we're coming out of it now, don't you think, with the variants and stuff?
Yeah, no, I'm so glad. Like I said, I actually had COVID before there was a vaccine.
Oh no! You know what? I did too. I got it twice.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, one of my coworkers died, who I'd worked with for like 15 years.
Oh no!
It was very personal to me. Everyone was saying, I mean, well, not everyone. Some people were going around saying, "Oh yeah, I don't believe it. I don't know anyone that's died." And it's like,
you did.
You're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, it was real. I mean, you can't fake death. The worst people that got hit was New York. Again. New York. I mean, they get hit with the hardest things. Yeah, they got hit so hard. I mean, a lot of countries did, but and it definitely did exist.
So many people so close together.
Yeah, it's like a poppy seed. How has music influenced your life?
Well, music is a funny thing because growing up, for whatever reason, and I still can't figure this out, I didn't listen to music. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and I should have, because that was some good music.
Oh my gosh, it was the best in England. I was rocking out all over the place.
And as I got older, down in here in LA, I discovered like 80s clubs, and all of a sudden that's like what I do on weekends now. I go out and I find if there's like after the interview tonight, I'm going out to see an 80s cover band.
Awesome.
I dance like a maniac, and I did it last night. I mean, if I can find a place, yeah. So now it just brings me, it brings me great passion. I mean, I can't play music, and I am not a good singer, although I can do really good karaoke for B-52s. Fred and the B-52s.
Can you do a little bit now? Here's the microphone. Carry on.
Made a sign by the side of the road that says 15 miles to the
Love Shack.
right.
Do you dance?
Oh, I dance like a maniac. Yeah, that's I cannot go to like an 80s music place or really really any music. I dabble in 70s and 90s, but 80s and 90s. But yeah, last night I danced for 4 hours straight.
Oh, awesome. Do you ballroom or you just jig around?
Oh, it's rock. No, 80s rock.
Oh, got you. Yes, rock.
So-
I love rock. Yeah. What's your favorite rock band?
I don't have a favorite, but I love Billy Idol, David Bowie, Depeche Mode, B-52s, of course.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just one-off songs.
The organ player from Depeche Mode just passed away.
Ah,
The founder. Yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting up there now.
We all are, aren't we?
They sure are.
I grew up with the 80s too. I've heard you sing B-52s and I'm still singing it in my head. It's like,
No,
get out.
I started to play the drums like in high school, but drums and that would be like marching band, and that's not fun. That's not rock.
I was in a marching band. I used to play the trumpet.
Well, see, the trumpet's a little more fun. The drums is just,
No, it's so good. You gotta get it going. You gotta get that beat.
but yeah, I just didn't get into it. So I never pursued it. And now that I'm like friends with lots of bands down in LA, it's like they're looking for drummers. My favorite bands lost their drummers.
Is there any part that you've played that you could see your own personality within that role?
I have a degree in theater, and I made the mistake of thinking that, oh, I have a degree in theater, I'm really good. I really wasn't. I could really play geeks really well because there's definitely a level of geekiness in me.
Right.
And for some reason, cult members. I got cast as geeks and cult members a lot.
Really?
And sometimes geeky cult members. Because like in the movie Dude, Where's My Car, I'm one of the guys in the bubble wrap jumpsuits. Oh yeah, no, then I took classes at, college classes are great, but a lot of that's theory, and there was acting as well, but it's not as intensive as classes down here. And I took classes for 5 days a week for over a year, and then continued after that, but not every single day.
Right.
Yeah, then I expanded my range, and I started getting cast in all sorts of roles. So yeah, that was a very good idea. I'm glad I realized that, the degree on my wall really means nothing in this town.
Oh. Well, if somebody if mind you have to audition for parts. Are you doing the self-tape still, or are you going out to auditions now?
Still mostly self-tapes. I actually haven't been on a live audition since COVID. I actually just recorded one yesterday, and it was a self-tape.
Mm-hmm.
I had one was a live Zoom audition. That was unusual.
Really?
Yeah, so the director was actually on the casting.
That's better if you ask me. You got more of a chance.
Yeah, no, I think it is, because that's the thing is, if it's recorded auditions,
They have so many.
yeah, you can guarantee that. Yeah, first off, they can ask for a lot more. You don't even know if they watch them, and second, people are going to spend a lot of time to get that perfect audition.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you're in the room, it's more of
Personal.
and there you go.
Out of all the charities in the world, which one would you choose to advocate for, and why?
I don't really have a specific one, but I would say children. I mean, that would be a very general, children in need. It's a general direction for the charity. But
Oh, have you got any specific ones, like St. Jude's? You mean?
I don't, because as of now, I haven't really been in a position to really donate.
Not donate, advocate for.
I'm advocate. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone wants to hear from me yet. But yeah, no, I mean, St. Jude's is a good one. It's a big one. But yeah, I mean, if I was to someday go on Celebrity Jeopardy where you donate to the charities or something, yeah, I would have to really look into it. But yeah, I think it would be something for children.
Oh. Have you got any upcoming things that you're writing right now that you'd like to share that's coming out next year? Because I know we can find you on IMDb, Michael Beardsley, and extra one,
Yeah.
in parentheses. And you're on Facebook. Are you you're on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I don't really use those as much. I mean, Facebook is the one I use
The
the
main.
most. I'm not a huge social media guy. I'm not gonna like post pictures of my dinner or anything.
Why not?
If I'm doing a project,
I want to see what you're eating. No, I'm only joking.
usually
Do you know it's women that do that the most? Isn't that strange?
I don't know. I've never got it. I have one friend who's a chef and she does it and it's like, okay,
Well, that's different.
she prepared it. She's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never got that. But yeah, I generally will post if I'm working on a project or if there's something I do which is kind of exciting. Like I just went mountain climbing last week or rock climbing.
Nice.
Not really a mountain, it was rocks. But I posted a couple pictures of that. But yeah, I don't post a ton. But
No. Well,
but yeah, stuff coming up. I was actually in pre-production from a short film that I wrote that I was self-producing before COVID hit, and I hope to finish that this year. It's called Lovecraft, and it
Okay.
explores the world of online dating,
ooh.
which I don't care for.
Who does?
I've tried it a few years back. I went on a few dates through a couple of the sites, and none of them were good. I've continued to be on the sites. I've got a couple matches, but usually the conversations fizzle or they just don't respond or whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that's just the nature of it. But yeah, so it's
So it wasn't like a must-love dogs then when they fall in love.
no, yeah, I don't know if I believe in that. Well, yeah, honestly, I guess I have to because my brother actually met his wife on eHarmony.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did. So I guess I
Well,
can't.
there's faith. It's luck of the draw, isn't it? Really?
That's why I'm still swiping periodically, although I'm
Left,
probably
right, left,
too
right.
picky. I'm probably like, I don't know.
So you put your experience of that and wrote it all down. Maybe that's going to be a thriller.
But yes, I want to finish that, and then I'm acting in another project that a friend of mine from the group I mentioned, We Make Movies, is going to shoot. It's another short, and that one, it's nice to just act in something.
Right.
You have to produce it because producing, man,
It's a lot
I'm
of
hoping
work.
to publish it late summer for my project, and I have to put together all the pieces and coordinate everything. And I don't know. I guess some people like producing, but for me, it's more of a necessity.
Right.
Do it. Who's going to do it? I mean, this is a low budget thing. I'm not going to pay someone to do it.
No. You have to, and it's a lot of time, and editing, that's another window altogether because that's a lot of, people don't realize how long it takes to actually edit something.
Oh God, yeah. 'cause
And even me with my shows, it takes a lot, it takes a minute, getting
yeah.
everything right.
I mean, I like editing for films. That's what I'll generally edit for free for friends if they put me in their film.
Right. Okay.
I'll charge them otherwise because it's a lot of work. You have
It
a
is.
lot of control over how good the finished product is because a bad edit can just ruin a film.
I know.
And then also
Makes a difference.
I also have a YouTube channel which I have not yet started to promote really because I wanted to get a certain level of good content on it before I started to promote it, because I have a couple YouTube channels. This
Okay.
one's called That Actor Guy, or Michael Beardsley, That Actor Guy. I don't, and it's has a few different kind of videos. I actually started it several years ago, and it was basically just me talking to the camera like this with this background and giving advice to actors. I did, I don't know, several of them, very low production value. And I was like, no one's really watching these. So I'm like, okay, I'm back to my regular channel. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to leave it up. So then I came back years later, and I'm like, wow, I've actually got a decent amount of views on these. And I got like 90 something followers. And the other type of video I'm doing, which I'm doing an actor reacts, in which I will watch a episode of a TV show that involves acting or the film industry, and I comment on it, like what's right and what's wrong, what's realistic. And I've done about 5 of those. I did the first episode of Entourage, I did an episode of Simpsons, episode of Family Guy, the first episode of the Kaminsky Method, and an episode of American Horror Stories. And same thing, I edit away, edit clips in, cutaways, just try to put some humor in. And then I do another one called Hollywood Issues, which will address whatever the latest thing is. I did a couple videos on the Rust tragedy, and then recently I reluctantly did one on the Johnny Depp thing, but I didn't really do it because the video is called Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. I just don't care. Because it's their personal life. It's not really anything to do with the movie industry. It's just 2 people who happen to be in the movie industry who are having a lawsuit.
Yes.
And then occasionally I'll just...
About defamation.
Yeah, defamation lawsuit. And occasionally I've only done one of these, a video called Tommy Lee Jones is Creepy. Because Tommy Lee Jones is creepy. I
hope he doesn't see this.
No, it's 100% true. It's my experience on the set of Men in Black, too. And Tommy Lee Jones just stared at me all day.
Really? Maybe he was just curious.
My conclusion years later is that he was screwing with me. And that's just something that he probably does. And me being a fairly new actor at the time, I just kind of didn't engage. I didn't say like, what? But yeah, I did a video on that because Tommy Lee Jones is creepy.
I like him. Not that I know him personally, because I don't. But I've never worked on set with him, so I wouldn't know. If this was the last conversation you were ever going to have, what would you say?
Oh. I would say that I'm pretty happy with how things turned out, despite the fact that I haven't achieved my goals. I feel that I found a good balance in life, which wasn't the case when I first came to LA, because that's the thing. And that's another bit of advice I would give to people is enjoy life while you pursue your dreams. Because if you're laser focused, yeah, you could do more than I do to try to break into the industry. There's always more you can do. You have to find where the cost benefit line is for you between just focusing that and actually enjoying the ride.
Michael Beardsley, thank you very much for attending Chatbox with Sam, and I hope you have a wonderful evening out there dancing tonight in Los Angeles. Have you got any last words for the viewers?
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, and hopefully check out my shameless plug. Check out my YouTube channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you very much, and good night.